Hi everyone, welcome to Rock and Road. Today we're along the Vermillion River in Lorain County, Ohio, and we're looking for something called a turtle rock. So some of you may be wondering what a turtle rock is exactly. It's not a fossilized turtle shell or anything like that. It's actually a type of concretion. The mineral in this type, the most notable mineral at least, is barite. So it forms these like interesting ridges, and it sort of looks like a turtle shell, though it's not. This is one that was given to me by a close friend a couple years ago. She was out somewhere around here with another friend at a family picnic, and she found like 5 of these on the riverbank that day, and couldn't remember where she was at, but she gave me this one. So I have made it my goal to find out where she was so I can find some for myself. So it's not a turtle rock, but I did find this neat rock here. So it's got this cool little curve to it. Not worth keeping. So I'm along this shale embankment here, and you can see the like black shale, and then up here it's a little different, a little more orange rock. I'm hoping that maybe this is the unit that I'm looking for the turtle rocks in. Is this one? This might be one. It's a pretty low quality one, but I think it's possible. Yeah. Oh, they're really interestingly colored concretion. Still not what I'm looking for, though. I have a feeling that across the river is where you'd find them, but I am alone today, so I don't want to cross the slippery river and risk something happening. Also, that shale has been eroding away and falling down the entire time I've been here. And so far it's been small chunks, but there are plenty of areas with evidence of big rock falls. That's not an area where I would want to be when that happens. So I think I'm going to stick to the safe side of the bank. I found this big chunk of granite or something close to granite, some sort of glacial erratic. I'll rinse it off where the water's a little clearer. It's a neat rock. Too big to take home. There's a little frog hiding down there in the water. I've scared him off of his rock here and he won't swim in. I don't know if you can still see him. There's also a fish down there. Well, the bank disappears for a bit, so I'm up above the river, enjoying all of the pretty yellow flowers that are in bloom right now. So, hoping to find some more bank to get back down there. Geese are still being loud. So, I wasn't having very much luck at the last place I was looking, so I decided to move to a different spot. So far, not much luck here either, but I did find this cool waterfall and this cool little shale hollow over here. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more luck here. It seems like a lot less busy of an area than the last place, so I think that may lead to potentially more finds if the other place was just picked over, but we'll see. So the Ohio Shale is one of the more prominent geologic units here in the state. It goes down from south central Ohio all the way up through northeast Ohio. It's known in different areas for different things. Down in the Columbus area you get some really neat, really giant concretions they're big. Maybe I'll find a photo of one that I can include in this video. Here in northeast Ohio, the Ohio Shale is known for being where the Dunkalastius was found. So the dunk is a Devonian era fossil fish. In the Cleveland area, they found one of the most intact Dunkalastius skulls. But you can find it at the Cleveland Museum of Natural History, and then there's a cast of it at the Rocky River Nature Center. But it's a really neat, really giant fish. He was probably the king of the sea during the Devonian. So that's where the Ohio Shale gets its claim to fame in this area. So I found this guy here. I didn't know we had clams or mussels or whatever that is that big here in Ohio. Here's my hand for scale. So it's a pretty big shell. I think I found one. There it is. There it is. My first official turtle rock concretion. Yay! I'm very excited for this. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there was a snake on the shore and it jumped in the water and swam away. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, at least not here. Occasionally up on Lake Erie you get the Lake Erie water snakes, but I don't think I've ever seen a snake jump into the water before, so that was new. There's some gravel banks up ahead. The second location has had a lot less stream bank exposed than the last place. So I've been mostly walking up high, looking down at the river, climbing down in a few places, but not much continuous stream bank to explore. So hopefully I can get to this spot over here through the trees. Alright, I made it onto that gravel bank. Hopefully we will find something. I see something interesting. I think it's just a piece of shale with some mud on it. Not so interesting. I lied. Just a rock with a whole bunch of holes in it. Kind of neat. There's another rock with a whole bunch of holes in it. He's kind of got an interesting color pattern. There's not a lot of holes on this side, but there are up here. I don't know what the story is with that. Some sort of weird weathering, I'm sure. So here is a really interesting piece of cone in cone formation, and it even has a little chunk of pyrite on it. I found a piece of this stuff earlier today, and so I wasn't going to take this one home when I saw it, but this is really nice. So I'm not remembering exactly how to describe this off the top of my head, so I'll talk about it more at the end of the video when I have a chance to look up what it is and explain it. So I ended up finding 1, 2, 3, there was a fourth one too, 4 more pieces of that cone and cone formation as soon as I put that last one away. This one's not as nice, but it's got some cool little circular bits on the top. The other two are a little bit nicer, but they don't have that pyrite that that level one had. So I think I'm just going to leave them here for someone else to enjoy. So I turned this rock over just to look under it, really, because it's a really big rock. But then I noticed there's a little bit of a brachiopod sticking out and some other little like crystal pocket filled fossil over here. This is way too big for me to carry out of here, so it gets to stay and enjoy another day here on the river, but it's really neat. And then I stepped down to look at that, and I found this piece here that has a whole bunch of pyrite growing on it. So that piece I think will come home with me. Just found a chunk of a horn coral laying on the ground. I didn't even know we could find those in this area. Next to it was another piece of cone in cone. I'm not seeing any pyrite on that one, just sand. But still a neat rock. A horn coral I might take just to look it up later. I think I found another fossil of some kind. Some other type of coral, perhaps? I don't know. I'll take them home. There's another rock right next to it. I don't know if this is anything. I don't think it is. We'll leave him behind. Well, it's been somewhat of a success. We found one, maybe two turtle rocks, but we found a lot of other cool things. So I think at this point, it is time to call it a day. All right, everyone, we are back at the shop with some of our best finds from the Vermillion River hunt. So I'm going to start with some of our least impressive guys first. This is our fossils. So we've got this horn coral here. It's broken. It would have had a point extending down here. It would have been oriented like this, with the point sticking down into the sand. So unlike most coral that you're familiar with that are like colony coral, where each little bit is its own animal, each of these horn corals were one creature. They were solitary. They also go by the name rugose coral. Our other fossil, which this rock is really light. I still don't exactly know what this is. I think it's some other sort of coral, but the way he's so light makes me think maybe he's something else. But there's another little bit of a shell imprint up here. Next we've got our cone and cone formation. So we've got this piece with the iron pyrite on it. Very cool. I don't think I've ever found pyrite out in the wild before, at least not in Ohio. Maybe somewhere else. But you can see the circles on the top of him, these cone structures on the side. It's not entirely clear how the cone and cone formation was formed. There's a couple of different theories about it. Whether it was some sort of mineralization or some sort of pressure thing, some sort of crystallization, some sort of gas buildup. There's a lot of different theories, and not everyone knows what they are. I did cut open a piece of that. I'm going to get it wet really quickly. So I slabbed up this piece of cone and cone, not my pyrite piece, just another piece I found. And you can get these really nice kind of triangles in the middle of it. So I might try to make a cabochon out of that. It's just like a limestone, so it'll be soft, it'll be easy to make. But I think it'll be interesting. So I'm gonna try it. And then last but not least is our turtle rocks. So this one, concretion, maybe is a turtle rock. It's got some ridges, so it could possibly be one that's just worn away. But I'm just going to leave him as a maybe. He might just be an iron concretion or a siderite. Here is the one that we found out in the wild. Very clear fins, very clear definition. This is the one that was gifted to me. Still the best one I own. But then I was at a flea market over the weekend, and under someone's table was an entire box of turtle rocks. So I'm going to pull out some of those ones and we'll take a look at those. They were probably found in the same area since the flea market was really right by where we found ours, but who knows? Who knows how long they've been sitting in someone's garage. Some are more worn away than others, but we'll pull a few of these out and look at them so you have a better idea of a more diverse array of these turtle rocks. So, one of the biggest ones is this one here. A little worn away, but he's big. He's like the palm of my hand sized. You could see how maybe someone would think that would be a fossilized turtle if they found that laying out on a creek somewhere. Let's see. This one's got like a sort of a white outer coating that's being broken away, and you can see more of the iron staining on the inside here. This one I think might be my favorite of these. So here's one side, and then here's the other. Like it's got like a pit in the middle. So I think he might be my favorite, and he's probably the most well-defined of the ones in this box here. Some that are less defined, like this one, you can barely see on this side any of the ridges. Turn him over, he's got a few. There's another one that the ridges are definitely more flat. Here is another one with some well-defined ridges, more round and small. Another not so well-defined one, but another one where you can see that someone could mistake as a turtle if you didn't know what you were looking at. Let's see, let me pull out maybe one more good one. I like this one. This one's got some well-defined ridges. He's still wet. I washed these off yesterday and he was at the bottom, so he didn't dry all the way. But you can see that fin, that ridge right there. Maybe focus. And yeah, so that's the turtle rocks. So we'll discuss a little bit now about what are turtle rocks. So you may be wondering what a turtle rock is exactly. So it's a type of concretion. It's a type of septarian concretion, and I can fill in and add another photo of a septarian nodule from out in Utah. One that you're probably maybe familiar with if you've looked at a rock shop or something like that before. But this is another type of septarian concretion. They formed as the Ohio Shale was forming back during the Devonian. Basically, sediment was being deposited on the ocean floor, and along with that, some organic material. The organic material may have had gases coming out of it as it decayed, causing disruptions in that sediment that's being laid down, leaving room for other minerals such as iron and sulfur and barite to precipitate out. And that's essentially where you get those concretions within those cracks in the sediment during that time period. At least I think. If that's not correct, feel free to say something in the comments below. But I did cut a few of them open. They all had a very sulfury smell as I did that. So let's look at a few of these on the inside. So let's see. Probably the least exciting is this one here. We've got a couple little bits of mineralization on the inside, but not anything too exciting. And then this one here. Ooh. So with this one, you can see the veins going all the way through it. Those white minerals, which I think is pretty neat. And then we've got our last one here. So he looked like that on the outside. Open them up, and you've got some white veins all throughout. So I believe the white is barite. It could be other things. There might be some calcite. Definitely some sulfur. You could smell the sulfur when they were being cut open, but not in large enough quantities to really get a good look at it. But I know there's a lot of sulfur within the Ohio Shale. In some places you can find an outcrop where it does just precipitate out of the shale. So it's there. But yeah, so that's what the inside of these look like. Oh, and one more note, there are certain places along the Vermillion River where you cannot collect these, mainly within the Lorain County metro parks. They're throughout the Vermillion River watershed, so there are places you can go to look. Just make sure you're doing it in the right area. The first part of my video was in the Lorain County metro park, so I left all the rocks there. It was more so just to go and hike and look around. So the second part was in an area where I believe you were allowed to collect. Not that we found much there. The majority of these are from the flea market, but just be aware if you do go out collecting to be in an area where you are allowed to take the rocks. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed learning about these concretions, you know, maybe consider liking this video, maybe consider subscribing to this channel. It's a new channel, but I'm working on putting out more rockhounding and geology videos. So thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.